We are here this morning with Tim Krell, the Republican candidate for District 15 of the Sangamon County Board. We appreciate you being here today and invite you to start by providing an opening statement as to why you think you're the best candidate for the office.
Thank you. Good morning to you all. And well, I've been serving the county board for the last 10 years. I got elected in 2008, my first election, and ran against a gentleman then, and was lucky enough to win that race, and I've been on the county board ever since. Why I do it, I'm a retired firefighter. I retired from the Springfield Fire Department in 2003, and politics has always been kind of interesting to me. So I had the opportunity to run for this spot. At that time, I knew the chairman of the party, Mr. Libri, and they interviewed me, and I guess they thought I was the best qualified candidate, and I got that. And we did well. So I was living at Lake Point at that time. It's a subdivision in my district. You know, I'm a single father. I have 3 children, grown children. And as I say, I retired from the fire department. And I was involved in the Lake Point Homeowners Association. I was president of that. I've been involved in a lot of activities. I was president of the Local 37 and the firefighters. So, you know, I just like to serve. I'm a veteran of the Vietnam era, and I've always kind of liked to serve and give back to the community a little bit. And so it's a good thing. You know, I have family and friends in that district, and it's a pleasure to represent them on the board. I think you know, we've done a great job for the people of District 15. We've had a balanced budget ever since I've been. It's not I say we, the board, because it's a board as a whole. All right, not just me. I serve with 28 other folks, and we all do a good job working together. And I'd like to stay in that capacity and stay on and work with them and see through some things that we have in the makings right now. Okay. Thank you.
Good. So, before we kind of dive into some of the issues and ideas that you have, I guess I'm interested always in, so what made you a Republican? And then what is it about being a Republican on the county board? How's that reflected in votes and kind of principles that you operate from?
All right. Well, I think my basic beliefs and principles came from my family, my grandfather, on my dad's side, my father. We were farmers growing up, so we were a little more of the conservative side, you know, and not saying that I didn't have Democrats in my family. On my mom's side, my great-great-great-grandfather, Mr. Peter Cartwright, which you might know from Pleasant Plains, was a Democrat, and he ran against a prominent Republican a few times, Mr. Lincoln. So. But the Republican Party I think stands for, you know, balanced budgets, and the county board. I think we do have the majority, and as I say, we keep a tight rope on the budget. We live within our means. That's what I was always taught, to live within your means. There's only so much, and you're just going to have to live with what you get, you know. And so we've kind of. You know, I believe also as a Republican, I believe in strong military. I believe being from the military background. And I also like supporting our police and firefighters, our medical people, medical staff, which is, Springfield has got a great medical community. So I like working for the folks in that capacity. And as far as being a Republican, I guess I just, you know, I think they're a party of, you know, that they have lower taxes, and we're the party that physical responsibility, and that's the way I was always raised, you know.
Good, thank you.
Tell us a bit, in your 10 years on the board, what are some of the accomplishments you're particularly proud of, and what would you focus on if you're reelected for another term? Okay.
Well, again, I would have to say we work as a whole. So Tim Krell didn't do any of this by himself, or never will, probably. But as far as representing my part of the district, I think we can be proud of the merger with the health department. we get smaller government. I think we're working on, it's on the ballot now to maybe converge the the county with Capital Township, merge that together without a loss of any jobs, a savings of money. That would be nice. We've upgraded the jail quite a bit with some new things in the jail as far as visitation online. The inmates can now order off a kiosk to get some of their provisions they need. We have in the court system, we have a veterans court now, and we have a drug court where we don't have to keep flooding a lot of people that don't belong in our jail. We can get them help in other ways. We have, through public health, we have a lot of programs with public health through our community resources. We can help a lot of people in that area. We still do. We were big in the railroad relocation. I think our Chairman Van Meter was big on that and working with Senator Durbin and Mayor Langfelder and keeping the monies coming in for that. I think it would be great for our city. They've just now, we have this economic committee that they put together. The county and the city and business folks are going to try to start finding new ways to bring businesses into Sangamon County. We just passed some new guidelines for the solar farms, the wind farms. We have somebody who was putting in for maybe a new power plant down by Pawnee that would be natural gas. So we've had a lot of things. Our sewer departments has got all new sewer plants. They've done well. So I think the county works well with everybody, the state and the city. We try to keep maybe downsizing some areas where we don't need and make them more efficient. And we have a great group of people that work at the county building. We have great people that serve in the capacities, that are elected officials, I think, and they're doing a great job over there. So it's just great to be a part of that team, and it keeps bringing good services to Sangamon County.
Understanding that, you have been part of a team effort, are there particular issues that you've found yourself more involved in, that are of greater focus for you?
For me, I was got into the tail end of the Hope School incident where we had to figure out a new way to get in and out. They had some arguing going over on the road, and I think that all worked out. I got at the end of that and got to sit in on some of those discussions and hopefully made a difference there. I don't know, but hopefully I did. And I've been able to work with, as you say, most of my district is Capital Township. I have two Woodside precincts, so I get to work with Jim Edwards now, who is the supervisor of Woodside, and I get to work with Alderman Redpath, and we've worked on some issues together. We just put in a new they just put in a new sidewalk connecting Franklin Park to Hazeldale School, which was much needed, so the kids could walk along there. That's a pretty treacherous road. If the deers don't get you, somebody else will. And so that's been a nice project. The opening of 11th Street, which has been going on for years. I had, way before my time, but we got to cut the ribbon on that the other day. We got to cut the ribbon on a new facility at the college that's in my district, and they have a new student union. And if you go out there and look at that, that just kind of brings that quad all in together. That college out there is very, I think it's something Springfield can be proud of having in there, and that 11th Street corridor is going to open that all up. I've got to individually, for people, I won't name names, but I've got to personally do some things that help people along in some areas that people don't know who to get a hold of, or sometimes all I got to do is get a hold of maybe one person, as myself, and I can reach out to all these other people that I know in these other capacities, and it makes it easy for them to get things handled. And our zoning issues are always, something that we have to look into. Zoning keeps fluctuating, so what goes on in one area might not work in another area. So I try to get out to, when we do have these zoning issues and they're contested, I try to get out there and look at the situation and educate myself on that.
That actually is a topic we've been asking all the county board members about. Zoning is something that comes up. elaborate a bit more. You mentioned you could try to go out and look at things yourself, but how do you approach things, especially when, maybe the neighborhood is not agreeing with the staff recommendation, which
that happens.
Often happens.
We'll come into county board night, and
So just walk us through your thought process.
there was about 200 names on it opposing this project, and I can see it's always not in my neighborhood sometimes, and I've kind of told people over the years, sometimes having a Walmart or something else like that in your neighborhood, it might be better than the neighbor you're going to get. You never know. So you never know how that's going to work out for you. But I think people over the years have tried to get their little piece of the country. We've got it down to 5 acres you have to build on now, and a person will go out in the country and want to put up a place on 5 acres and have their little piece of the pie out there, then all of a sudden here comes a solar farm in their neighborhood, or a wind farm, or this or that, or maybe a powerhouse, and they don't want that in their backyard. And maybe I wouldn't either. I don't know, but we got to also think in it as a whole, a county as a whole, that's going to be bringing jobs to our county and bring more money in from taxes, and so some of the things also. You'd be surprised how much a fence going in somebody's backyard, how much that ruffles feathers, the height of a fence or where it's located. It just depends on the individuals and where it's going, the zoning. And we try not to use up too much of our great farmland. That's one of our issues, that we always score the land. We have a way of scoring farmland, so we try not to build on too much of that prime real estate for farmers.
Okay.
Thanks.
You also had mentioned a little bit earlier, the Economic Development Corporation that's been formed, that the county played a pretty key role in. Sounds like you support this effort. Walk us through kind of your thoughts on the report and, what you see as the challenges for economic development here and what you're hoping to see from the EDC.
Well, we've been involved with the Q5 with the chamber for years, and it's kind of I don't know. We've worked well with them, but I think they were looking for something else. They're trying to bring in the business people. And we're also going to have I think something coming up where they'll have the input of the citizens coming in. They're going to have a panel, and they'll have input from them. They're going to sit down with them and see what they think, and which I think is great. Everybody's got an idea, and so hopefully we can glean some good ideas out of that panel there. But I think, as the county put in so much money, the city has put in so much money, and the businesses will also pony up to that. And I think they've hired a gentleman to come in and oversee this, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But I think when you got somebody maybe of this gentleman's capacity, he's been in other areas, and he can reach out to different people. Our business community can reach out to different people that they know that there's something going on. A friend of mine once said, you want to go visit the towns that's got the cranes in the air. You know what I mean? The cranes that are working in the area, they're getting some growth. So that's maybe what we're going to start looking at, some areas of the country that are growing like that. There is some growth going on now, and see what they're doing that we're not doing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
What obstacles do you see here that we need to get past?
Obstacles?
In Sangamon County for economic development.
Oh, I don't know about the obstacles. Sangamon County has always been kind of like our bread and butter's been politics, the state capital, Abe Lincoln. We're fortunate now to have 2 great hospitals. I think we could bring in more jobs in that area, in the medical field, as again, going back to the college, bring things that would fit well with the college, and maybe bring some things downtown for the college students. I think they put up a building, a dorm or housing down there on 4th Street. Maybe kind of keep doing things like that. What's blocking it? I think maybe instead of keep growing, we seem to be growing to one side of the city. I think we need to start looking at more of the other side of the city for a change and start, I like the city that they started getting into tearing down some of the old dilapidated houses and getting rid of some of that and making room. We have the infrastructure in place on the east side and in the south side, north side. Let's start courting businesses that want to be in there and kind of diversify all these businesses around the city, and that would be nice. So hopefully we can get beyond that. I don't know if that's a block, but I think it's something important we need to look at instead of keep going in one direction, and maybe use the land that we already have and utilize it.
Okay.
Over the years, there's always been, for lack of a better word, tension between the city and the county, it seems. What do you attribute that to, and what's your kind of assessment of that now?
I don't know. I was a city worker, so never gave it much thought. I never had any friction with the county. Maybe because we overlap a lot in a lot of different areas, and everybody wants a control of the certain areas, and it's about jobs, and jobs are, politicians like jobs, and they like people working for them, and that's who gets to vote for them. See, so, but I think I don't know. It's a funny thing, Springfield, when it comes to that the city and the county kind of butt heads. But again, we have cooperated in a lot of areas. We've got the public health. We have some your paper, some of the opinion pages framed over in the county. You've probably been in the county headquarters there. There's some of the stuff that's been the sewer debate and all this, and the cartoonists who used to make the cartoons on them, and they got them over there. So it's been going on a while, But I think it's just the closeness of what we are and how integrated we are as far as the county and the city government, right. and plus we got the state government. We're a government town, and it just kind of sometimes we have friction that way.
So are there other areas? You've talked about public health, and I think by and large people agree that
turned out
happened pretty easily and seems to be working well. Are there other areas that maybe the city and the county need to take a closer look at how they can work together or merge services? Well,
right now, I think the city is, the county. It's going to go on the ballot. It's on the ballot this election about the Capital Township issue, bringing Capital Township into the into the county, and which I think is a good fit because Tom Cavanaugh, our treasurer, already collects for the township. Our clerk. Mr. Gray already does the assessments of the township, so I think it would be a good fit. We also, like I say, some of the things that the township does as far as helping people with their rents or utility bills, we have that in place also at the county at the public health department through our community resources. They reach out over there and they help people. The LIHEAP program helps people with their utilities and stuff. So I think that would be a good fit for the county, and the mayor seems to think to be a fit for the city, but I think the county's already working in this capacity, so I think we do better. We don't run CWLP, they do, or it's a city utility, so we're not intervening in that. Of course, we don't want to get into the utility business, but there's going to be some of that going on, hopefully, in the county with the solar farms, maybe wind farms, and maybe the new powerhouse down in Chatham. So I think if we can all just use our tax dollars wisely and put aside our differences, work together. And I think the mayor and our chairman have worked real well with this relocation on the railroad, and Senator Durbin and other congressmen have gotten us grant money for that. I think it's going to really benefit our city there. This new corridor coming through here, it's going to really enhance, I think, our town tremendously.
Could you imagine a time when police and fire would be consolidated?
That's been brought up. Have a countywide police and fire. And again, those two units are it's traditional. You go to any big city, it could happen. It's happened in other places, I think, in Miami-Dade. I think they have a pretty good size county. So it could happen. I don't know if we're there yet. We have some great volunteer departments out there. Since 911, they've gotten grant money. They've got new firehouses, new equipment. They've trained their people to great levels of so they have medical people, and their response times have been pretty good in the rural areas. So you'd have to find a way to merge that all together somehow without stepping on anybody's toes. Right. I'll go back to an incident when I was a fireman. You remember we used to say we're going to shut down number 7 engine house on Glenwood. Boy, people would, no, you can't do that. That's in my neighborhood. You can't take my engine house away. And that's kind of the way it is in the county. The smaller villages, they say, you can't take that away from us. That's ours. And that's kind of how that thing goes. So down the road, maybe it's going to happen. But again, you're going to have to integrate the city and these townships and these villages. And I don't know. Good luck. I don't know. It'd be rough, but it could be done. But I don't see it in the near future anyway.
Okay. Aside from consolidations, are there any technological or other efficiencies you'd like to see the county implement?
Well, we just got some new software come in. They're doing classes right now. Mm-hmm. We're going to put them in effect. So we're upgrading software in the county. We've upgraded the county building. We maintain our building. That building's paid off. I must say that. We don't have a lot of debt in the county. So we find new ways to keep building on to what we got and enhancing what we have. This new software is going to help us a lot in the county. We have, I'll just talk a little bit on animal protection. We've put that over there under the county control. That's been run well over there. We have a great program. People come in and work with the dogs, adoption of the dogs. So, we're out there. The animal protection is out there trying to save these animals and get them nice homes. I think that's been a good thing. We just the Child Advocacy Center. We just got a new building right over here up by 11th Street to help the abused children. We have the Juvenile Detention Center out there. It's been a good thing to have in Sangamon County. So I think as a whole, we keep trying to upgrade what we have. We try to work with what we have. We have, again, I'll say, we have great employees, and that's the crux of it all. When you got good people working for you, things run smoothly, and they're open to new ideas. The people that are ahead of these departments are always looking for ways to enhance their departments. Yeah.
And you mentioned
the elections. I'll just say that about them too. Don Gray's department, they've kind of streamlined that, and they're doing a great job with these elections now.
Okay. And you had mentioned earlier, that the county board has had a balanced budget. Talk to us a bit about how you, as a member, help ensure that the county runs in a fiscally efficient way.
Well, we all sit on committees. All right, I chair the Employee Service Committee, which we look at the employee services and the state's attorney's office. We have a little bit of turnover there going now. We're hiring new people, and a few new people, and elevating some people in the state's attorney's office. It looks like we might be leaving. The state's attorney might be leaving us, which John has done a great job. What a great state's attorney he has been. So but in these committees, we are meeting on a monthly basis, sometimes once or twice at each committee, and we keep getting reports from the directors, the people, and they keep us up to date on the spending, if they're above or below a certain level, and that's always helpful. I can report to you to say the sheriff's office has been pretty much on budget this year. It's been great, not a lot of overtime. So as I say that, something's going to happen. But you know, that's the blessing of having the people on the county board that we have, that we sit in these committees and we can oversee what's the spending and what's going on in them.
Okay.
And it's right there. It's right in our attention right there, not 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the road. We can address these things right off the get-go.
Okay, great.
How does hiring happen within the county? Say there's an opening in one of the departments. How does that happen? Does a board member have some role in that, or what?
We can, like anything else, I could, if somebody came into me looking for a county job, I could refer them to whoever, the employee service, either Charlie Stratton or whoever, and they put them on a list up there and look at them. Most of the hiring is done by the people ahead of those agencies. Like the sheriff's office has a list they run off of. They give an exam, and they hire off that list. Say the circuit clerk or the county clerk or the auditor's office or any of the other ones, treasurer. They, as needed, if somebody retires, they fill in a slot. Maybe there's some lateral transfers from one
Sure.
place to another. Okay, people that are underlings are waiting in the wings maybe to come up or being trained to that level. But new hires, they would come as recommended. You know, they would come in and put in their app like anyone else, or recommended through a county board member, or anybody in that nature.
But that would be about the extent of a county board member's influence in those hiring decisions?
Yeah.
And then my guess is that manager of that department or whatever would bring those names to the new hires to the board, and the board would move to approve those? Is that?
Certain positions, other positions, all they have to do is just hire them if that's in their budget.
Okay.
They have their annual budget they go by too, and as you know, all budgets are.
So it wouldn't
the
be
biggest
every
part of the
hire.
budget is the personnel.
All
So
right.
they would put that in their budget if their budget allowed it. You
Right.
know. And I'm sure they do background checks and stuff like that.
Good, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any issues that we haven't asked you about that you would like to bring up?
I think we covered quite a few.
Okay. Then in that case, we'd just invite you to give a brief closing statement for voters about, why you should be reelected to the board.
Well, thank you. I think I would like to keep on serving. Like I say, I had the time to do it. I enjoy doing it. I think we've been doing a great job. I love the area that I represent. I can go back to my childhood and reflect on that area real well. My family's lived out there for a long time. I grew up in Winsville, but I was born off South 2nd Street out there where the park is. So my family was out in that area, and my mom's side of the family also. So I have great memories of that area, and it's a pleasure to serve that area and be a part of that. Like I say, it's sometimes I have to pinch myself to think a little kid from Williamsville now and sitting on the county board and being able to help his fellows. And I enjoyed doing that on the fire department and getting out there and being a part of the community and helping people. And this is about as close as I can get to that without jumping on one of them fire trucks. And I'm getting too old to jump on fire trucks anymore. So hopefully with my experience and some of the things that I've been through over the last 10 years with the county board and the people that I've made friendships with in the city of Springfield and also the state, that I can be of service when certain things come up, and I have the experience of going through some of these things already and how we've handled them in the past.